And we're live. Hey there, I'm Alexandra. I'm founder of Life with Herpes. Welcome. I'm excited to be here with you. Yesterday I had so many questions. I think I got off with I think it said 99 questions I hadn't answered, and I felt like I was going through every single question as fast as I could. So if you're just tuning in, this is your opportunity to ask your questions when it comes to living with herpes. I was diagnosed with herpes back in 2003. I was diagnosed with oral herpes back in 2003, and then I was diagnosed with genital herpes back in 2011. So I have both types. I have HSV1 and HSV2. So with that being said, I've been living with it for almost 2 decades, and I have dealt with outbreaks. I've dealt with not getting outbreaks, which is the best. I've dealt with disclosing. I've dealt with dating. I've dealt with rejection. I've dealt with the fears of transmission to people I love, including my son. I've definitely worked with different medical professionals talking about vitamins, supplements, and just overall some of the best ways to live with herpes. So again, this is a platform for you to ask your questions. This is a platform for you to educate yourself. Some of the things that I really recommend when you are first diagnosed with herpes is, number one, educate yourself on this. There's so much false information. There's so much stigma around it that we assume or we think herpes is one way, and then we start to educate ourselves and realize, oh my gosh, it's actually this and this and this. And 2 out of 3 people actually have HSV1, and 1 out of 6 have HSV2, and 90% of the people with genital herpes don't even know they have it. So that's why it's transmitted so frequently, is most people are asymptomatic and they don't know they have it because they're not getting tested for it or they're not getting outbreaks. So again, this is a great opportunity. The other thing I recommend doing when you are first diagnosed, like I said, number 1, educate yourself. Number 2, join a community. Find a community of people that can best support you, whether that's a friendship, whether that's something faith-based, whether it is joining our community here, the secret society that I created. There's so many opportunities for us to just connect and feel aware of what's going on and get support, because what I don't want for you to happen is to be alone, isolated, go down a spiral of so many horrible thoughts. All right, let me start getting through the questions. I see that you guys have asked a lot of questions. And of course, if this information is something that you're like, oh my gosh, I have a friend that needs to hear this, go on ahead and tag them or forward it or whatever you need to do for them to see it. Have you ever caught it? Has anyone ever caught it from you? Not that I'm aware. No one's ever come back to me and said, I got herpes from you. So I definitely have dated. I got oral herpes when I was 20. So I dated, a lot. I got married at 34. So I had a lot of different, guys that I dated between 20 and 34, and nobody got HSV1. And as far as HSV2, to my knowledge, my ex-boyfriend never got it, and my husband doesn't have it, so I've not transmitted it. I have a question. I always test positive with a blood test, but never have had an outbreak. How accurate is the blood test? So I was just talking about this. I haven't posted the video yet. I just made a video on this. So majority of people that have herpes are actually asymptomatic, meaning you're never going to get symptoms, or you get very mild symptoms, or they're very far and few between. So what I mean by that is, for your particular situation, is you're asymptomatic, meaning you are positive for herpes. You are able to transmit it asymptomatically as well. I'll get into that in a second. And but you're one of the lucky ones who does not get outbreaks, meaning your body's doing what it is supposed to be doing. It's keeping it dormant in your system. So even if you don't get outbreaks, you can still transmit it. And what that means is it's called asymptomatic shedding. Our viruses shed just like any other living organism sheds. And what happens is the viral DNA sheds, and then it pops up to the surface of the skin wherever you have herpes, and it sheds that DNA. So when that happens, you can accidentally transmit it to somebody without knowing. You don't know when you're shedding. I have to put some chapstick on, by the way. This is like the best chapstick. Also, it's our chapstick, and this is not a plug. It's just my lips are super dry. Okay. Anyways, how accurate is the blood test? I would say if you're coming out positive for the blood test, it's accurate. I would say if you're coming out negative, there's a room for error with the IgG, with the blood test. What they're looking for in our blood is for our antibodies. And there is room for error in that, in the sense that your body may not have made its antibodies yet. It can take time for your body to make antibodies. So you may actually have herpes, may just have been infected with herpes, but not actually gotten your antibodies yet. So you may test negative even though you're positive. If you are testing positive via the blood test for herpes, then you have herpes. Also, thank you for the hearts. I love seeing them, so thank you, thank you, thank you. Did you tell them you had it? Did I tell my partners? Yes. So when I first got oral herpes, I actually didn't disclose. I told a guy I was dating that I had it, but I didn't disclose I had herpes because I didn't know that I needed to, because I wasn't told that I needed to. I wasn't told that oral herpes can also be an STD. I wasn't told that oral herpes, cold sores, can be transmitted genitally. So I didn't know that. But as far as genital herpes, yes, I always disclosed, and I also went back to past partners and I let them know. Those were really uncomfortable conversations because they were men I hadn't talked to in a while. But I did know that it could be dormant in my system and I could have had it for a while. And so I thought that it was important that I went back and told those men. Very interesting on different types of reactions I got from different men. The ones that I thought would be there for me were not, and the ones that I didn't expect to be there were like the most caring. So it is very interesting. The true colors come out. Do you have to specifically ask about the test, or do they test for it with the normal checkup? So you actually have to test for it. It's meaning you have to ask for it. Herpes. The herpes test is not included in the regular STI panel, which is frustrating because if everyone went to get tested, we would find out that we have it, and the stigma would start to dwindle. But yeah, it's not included. You specifically have to ask for it. I'm laughing because I can hear my little boy out there talking about dinosaurs. I keep having frequent outbreaks. It's been so frustrating. I've also been getting headaches. Maybe you're dehydrated. I have a headache right now, but it's because I'm exhausted and I'm dehydrated. I've not had enough water to drink. But headaches, I'm not sure about that. As far as frequent outbreaks, there could be some other things going on in your body. It could be some vitamin deficiencies. It could be some other things. Like I have thyroid issues. A lot of times when my thyroid is off, I get outbreaks. It could be adrenals. It could be meaning like you're so fatigued that your body can't fight it. There could be other things. I talk about just making sure like all of your blood panels are normal in the normal range. And also I would recommend, I'm not a doctor, I can't recommend, but I'd recommend taking, I guess I still can't say that, but I would look into taking lysine. It's a natural supplement. What lysine does, it helps prevent the replication of the herpes virus. So when the herpes virus is replicating, that's when we can get outbreaks. That's when we can shed or get outbreaks. So lysine can be extremely helpful. Thank you for bringing this information to the front. You're welcome. I'm excited to do it. I'm excited to be the person to do it. Obviously, it's not something I thought I would do as a kid. Like, what's your dream job? Obviously, it wasn't talking about herpes. But I feel really honored and blessed to be able to be here and be a voice for this because I didn't think I'd get married. I thought I'd have to settle. I didn't think I would be able to accomplish things that I wanted to accomplish. I didn't think I'd be a mom, and I have all those things. Did you spread it? By the way, if this resonates with anybody that is watching, like you're like, oh my gosh, I'm thinking of my friend. Thanks for passing it along. Could you spread it even if you're not having an outbreak? Yes, you can. It's called asymptomatic shedding. You're not shedding all the time. The longer you've had the virus, the less often you shed, but it is possible to transmit the virus asymptomatically. How did you find out you had it? I had an outbreak. I was in a significant amount of pain and I had outbreaks. And so that's when I didn't miss it. Like, I knew I had it. And I went to the doctor and they swabbed, and that's what it was. I had various different guys tell me when I had to tell them. Oh, you had different guys tell you they had it as well once you disclose to them. That's awesome. It's so common. It's just we just don't know we have it, or we don't want to disclose we have it, or we don't associate with what we have as herpes or HSV or cold sores. They're all the same thing, and we don't always put them together. Did I ever spread it to any of my past partners? I did not. I have not transmitted it. Did you want to shoot them at first? I was really angry when I got genital herpes. I was really angry because there's so much sin and guilt and embarrassment associated with getting genital herpes that I was just so embarrassed, and I really hated that person at that point in my life. I don't hate him now. Some of the things that I really like to talk about are, and the way we get over that is practicing forgiveness. I forgive myself for not asking him to get tested. I forgive myself for putting myself in a position to sleep with him without having those conversations. I forgive him for not telling me whether he knew or didn't know. I forgive him for not getting, I forgive the whole situation. Holding on to it doesn't help any of us. Also, with that being said, I take full responsibility. I decided to sleep with him. It was my choice. No one else made that choice for me. I knew there were STDs out there. I knew there were STIs out there. I made that choice. So I take that responsibility. What do you call two guys holding up drapes on a window? Curtain rod. That's a good dad joke. Should I take that every day? The lysine? Definitely, obviously, talk to a doctor. I'm not a doctor, but this is a supplement, meaning it's supplementing your food. So lysine is something that we consume daily in our food, and it is an essential amino acid. It's just a protein. I take it daily, and it definitely helps me with my outbreaks, keeping them far and few between. I have it linked in my bio, by the way. How do you tell people you're talking to? Is that first conversation a wait to get to know them better? I would ask yourself to decide what you're interested in. Are you interested in something super casual? Is it like a one-night stand type of thing? If it's a one-night stand, just get right to it. Have the conversation. Talk about, getting tested. You tested negative for these things and you've been positive for HSV. What questions do you have? If it's someone that you're looking for a longer-term relationship, you want to, see if you like them, you don't necessarily want to jump into sleeping with them, then yeah, I would wait. I'd wait until you're ready to get intimate. And that can be a week, it can be a day, it can be a month. Every situation is going to be different. I needed some positivity. I keep going on back and front with acceptance and being with no acceptance. So the rejection occurs when the person's not into you. So the person, when they're not into you, they're not going to take that risk. And that's okay. Why would we want to be with somebody that's not willing to take a risk on us? There's a risk in every relationship, regardless of herpes. So I'd rather know now than like 6 months from now or 2 years from now. Dating is absolutely normal, and it's a total, my dating life was totally normal. Let me see. Thank you for the follows, you guys. I appreciate that. Do I take the daily antiviral? I do not take the antiviral daily. I did at some points in my life. When I was first diagnosed, I took it. I took it when I was dating, but now at this point, I don't take it. Can you show the pills again? Yeah, these are lysine. They are by formerly known as Natural Cure Labs, now Palmera Health. I take lysine and I take monolaurin. Monolaurin helps with your immune system. It helps dissolve the outer layer of enveloped viruses. The HSV virus is an enveloped virus, meaning it has a fatty lipid around it, meaning that our immune system can't penetrate it. So once it disrupts the outer layer, our immune system can penetrate it. So yeah, these are both linked for you. What dosage do you personally take of lysine? I go anywhere between 1,000 to 3,000 milligrams, just depending on how much arginine I've eaten, if I feel like I have outbreaks coming on. So what antiviral do I take? I don't take antivirals. In the past, I took valcyclovir. How do I avoid spreading it? I definitely communicate with my partners. When I was dating, I took the antiviral. That was something that was important to me. The antiviral is going to be the best way to prevent transmission. Now with my husband, I just communicate with him. I take these 2 supplements daily, and so far we've been good. Hello from KY, Kentucky, right? Kentucky, I think. So there's a lot about you to get on here and be open with your story. You're welcome. I just want people to be able to not feel so alone and isolated. It's extremely isolating when you get herpes. So I just don't want that to happen to anybody. Are you positive with a blood test? Yes, I have been positive with the antibody test. Absolute rocket. Why, thank you. How do you tell someone new? I would wait till you're ready to sleep with them. When you're ready to sleep with them, that's when you have that conversation, and it's more of a sexual health conversation, less of like, oh my gosh, I have herpes, will you accept me? I feel like so awful, but I have this and No, it's like, let's talk about sexual health. Have you been tested? I've been tested. This is what I've been negative for. This is what I'm positive for. Here's what it means. And just make it like very straight and to the point, and not so like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. You're not sorry you have herpes. There's nothing to be sorry about. If I regularly have cold sores, should I text my next partner? Yeah, if you have cold sores, that is herpes, and it can be transmitted orally by doing things with your mouth. So that's something you would definitely want to communicate with your partner. Just so you know, if you have oral herpes, you're not contagious genitally, and if you have genital herpes, you're not contagious orally. How did I come to the decision to stop taking antivirals? I started working with a naturopath. I started working more of the cause, not the solution. And so I felt that taking antivirals was more of a band-aid to a cause, opposed to why am I getting outbreaks, or why do I feel I need to take this. So I rarely take any sort of medication. I'm not a big fan of antibiotics or anything. Like I don't take prescription drugs unless I absolutely have to. So I've been seeing ads, videos about this for a while. Could be a sign to go get tested. Yeah, definitely. It's something to get tested for. You're not typically tested, so you have to get tested. You have to ask. Sorry, can I show them again? Absolutely. We have lysine and monolaurin. I do have them linked for you. They're over there in the bio. You can definitely check them out. They're really affordable. I have a promo code for you that gives you 10% off, but they're really affordable. They're less than $20. So I think that's great for a monthly supplement. How did I find out? I had outbreaks. I had blisters all over. It was like Armageddon down there. So there was no way I didn't know something was wrong. Can you have it and never have symptoms or outbreaks? Yeah, it's actually very common for most people to never get outbreaks. Most people don't get outbreaks. What do the supplements do? The lysine helps prevent the replication of the herpes virus. The herpes virus doesn't like lysine. So by adding this to your diet, supplementing it with your diet, it just adds more of an opportunity to have less replication. And then monolaurin is lauric acid, and basically what it does, it disrupts the outer layer of enveloped viruses. Enveloped viruses are herpes and other viruses that have an outer shell around them. Our immune system can't penetrate it, and therefore the virus is in control versus our immune system is in control. So this helps with other viruses that come into our body that can help keep our immune system boosted. Can you transmit if you don't actively have lesions? Yeah, unfortunately you can. So that's why it's really important to communicate with partners that you have herpes. A lot of people think like if I don't have an outbreak, why do I need to communicate? Why do I need to tell people if I don't have an outbreak? It's a null and void point. Unfortunately, it can still be transmitted. Do you recommend taking those supplements with antivirals? So I'm not a doctor, I can't recommend. You can, but most people take them with supplement. It doesn't matter. You can take them with antivirals or you can take them without. It is a more of a natural way to prevent transmission and to prevent outbreaks in your body. So either way. I'm so frustrated. I feel like nothing is working. I've been very stressed and getting headaches. I'm so sorry. I asked to get tested for herpes and they said they don't test anyone unless there's a possible outbreak. I know it's so frustrating. You really have to like speak up and say, I want this. All right, guys, I'm going to go. I have my little boy outside. The supplements are the monolaurin and lysine. These are the ones. They're by formerly Natural Cure Labs, now Palmera Health, and I have them linked for you. So these are the ones I take to help prevent my herpes outbreaks. All right, guys, I will see you soon. I didn't even get a chance to talk about natural things that I use topically. I'll just tell you really quick. This is what I've been using. I just had an outbreak and it was a really big one. And so I'm applying this on it to help with the wound healing. It's the Everyday Wellness Oil, and it has chamomile, orange, lemon, tea tree, and there's a lysine in here, so it helps. Again, I have this linked for you as well. All right, guys, I gotta go I get to be a mom. It's my favorite thing in the world. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. TGIF tomorrow. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Thank you for all the hearts. I appreciate you being here. Please keep asking your questions. I just posted a video asking you to give me your top concerns when it comes to disclosing when you're dating, and that's what paralyzes us from dating, is when we get herpes, we're so scared to disclose and don't know how to disclose. I'm going to do a whole series on it. So if that's a big question for you on disclosing, go to my most recent TikTok that I posted and leave your comment so that I can get them all together and then create content that is the best thing. I'll put a whole series together. All right, I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Bye.